Peace and love, everybody. All right, let's try again. All right, there we go. All right, peace and love, everybody. Um, Hope you all are doing well. Uh, Good to see you, Larry Green. That's right, facts. Peace and love, JL, Sandy Burwell, Willie Rivers. Good to see you all. So we're gonna be in for a treat tonight. It's gonna be a good one. Actually, if everything goes planned, we're gonna go right into the PowerPoint, and I'm gonna break down some information you may have forgotten about. You all know this is deeply within you, so I just want to bring some of these points out, and hopefully this fourth, you'll be able to see beyond what's presented to you. Peace and love, Mother Whitney and Pernell. Uh, so let's go right into it here. I'm going to go to here. Let me start here. I just make sure I got everything down. So, a lot of times information is just passed down and, they tell us about different historical opinions. They're not facts. And they get us to pass these down throughout generations, and that's actually stifling us as a people. So I'm excited to share with you all this information, and hopefully you guys can go deeper with this. Um, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to bring up PowerPoint. All right, so let's go into it. All right, so this is what we got here. Why so serious? All right, we're going to see the connection, Sigitolo. Um, and we're going to get into it. So, this is pretty much covering the alleged 4th of July holiday. And this is going to be what we'll discuss tonight. All right. Independence Day, the Mask of Freedom, and the True Liberation. So, let me put these on now so I can be able to protect my eyes from all this light. But this is what we're going to be discussing tonight. And I definitely want to start with a quote from J.K. Rowling, who said, uh, well, better expelled and able to defend yourselves than sitting safely in a school without a clue. All right. So it's better to be forewarned with information than to be having just opinions and beliefs and doing nothing with it. All right. So as you can see, this is a depiction. I like this picture here. This is a depiction of Sirius here. This is her and her, a depiction of her. All right. So to start off, we have the U.S. franchise owners. Okay, they made a declaration of independence on July 2nd. All right, but they published it on the 4th of 1776. And John Adams, he wrote in his letter that he wanted this holiday to be a huge celebrated holiday with parades and illumination. And you're going to see how that plays to this whole celebration that a lot of our people participate in this time around. And there's only two men who actually signed this declaration when they first started, which was Charles Thompson and John Hancock. The other signers, they signed later on that month and some the following month. So the whole myth about the U.S. franchise owners, which is the U.S. corporate owners um, that control the estate here, declaring their independence from the crown, which controls the entire operation, is a lie. They never broke away from them. They still serving the queen. They still paying taxes to the queen. When you register your conveyance or your car and get a driver's license, that's evidence that you are registered to the crown, okay? Because everything is under occupation by the crown. And it actually became a federal holiday allegedly in 1870. So that's why we call it the 4th of July. All right, you lying. All right. And when we look at the U.S. Flag Code Title 4, United States Code, it actually says that you are in violation if you sell or display any article of merchandise upon which shall have attached or otherwise place a representation of the flag in order to advertise, call attention to, decorate, mark, or distinguish the article or substance on which so placed. So if you are buying all of this memorabilia, all these different things with flags on it, stuff like that, you're violating this code. But of course, they're not going to go ahead and enforce that because they want you to go along with the narrative. Um, so where did this banner scheme actually come from? We're going to see um, many layers to this because you can't just look at things from one angle. Okay, you got to see from different angles of light. All right, and that's what we're going to be bringing. So first of all, it came from the 13 bloodlines. All right, the 13 bloodlines, which is the Astor bloodline, Bundy, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, the Lee, Onassis, Rockefeller, Russells, Van Duns, Merovingians, and the Rothschilds, and you know them as the Rothschilds. All right, so that's what these 13 stripes in this banner represent. The controllers of the estate, the world, the planetary estate now. And that's where you also get the old banner. This isn't the American flag. This is a star-spangled banner, which is a difference. Now, the old banner was the continental banner that had 13 stars. Okay, and the 13 bloodlines actually they bought this estate, quote unquote, from a couple millionaires. Now, you'll find articles about billionaires buying this land from millionaires, but we know that a birthright can't be bought, sold, or transferred. So they can't sell our land or our estate. So that's where they get it wrong. Now, they use the six tribes, Germanic tribes, to shield themselves and hide themselves under the white stripes, the English, the French, Dutch, Scottish, German, and Irish, to use these corporations to actually seize and take control of this layered de facto government. They take control of our land through these different shells. Okay, and each of these tied to these Germanic tribes. All right, and that's what the white represents in these stripes, those 6 nations. All right. And it also represents the 13 planets in our solar system. All right, we got Mercury, Venus, Tierra, which is also called Cerestus or Asia. And you know that Mars, Sirius, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, Haumea, Makemake, and then Eris. All right. And when you look at the red stripes, this represents the electric field that this banner generates. This is dealing with the world. And so when you look at the material world, red charge, which is the positive charge, is dealing with electricity. The white charge is dealing with potential energy. I'm sorry, kinetic energy. And then you have the red and white connection. Then in this square, remember this great square, grand square, is symbolic of the cross. Okay, and the cross is something that a lot of people wear around their neck, and they think that that's what their savior was hung on and things like that. But this is a instrument that the ills use to measure the solar light and keep time and bring all of the information, knowledge, and intelligence from different parts of the universe into this realm, this material realm. So we use the cross as a symbol to help us to, it's basically symbology or symbolic of this act of what we did. And a square, a cross, is 90 degrees. All right, and that's where we get this field here, and it's blue. Now, blue and white, the blue represents the negative charge. So when you mix the kinetic energy with the white and the blue blue represents the negative charge. Then you get, really, we're talking about protons and electrons. All right, so when you add these together, this is what you're getting in the material world. This matter. All right. And so these 13 stars represent the 13 planets. All right. So we got electricity, and we also have magnetism. All right. All of these planets are or have these components. Now, here's something interesting that they're not going to tell you about, and you're really going to have to be really in tune and really just go back to how we used to do things to know what time it is and what's about to go down, what's happening. Uh, so the U.S. corporate owners, the United States of America Incorporated, is not a country, is not a nation. It is a service corporation, and you can look up Title 28 United States Code that tells you about that. But the owners, when they formed this so-called nation, their corporate, their corporation, they formed it. They had a natal chart, and this is the birth that they give themselves, one chart at least. And they're about to have a couple returns. So Pluto return is coming for them, which is irrevocable. A lot of changes is taking place to their de facto system and government. That's why you see a lot of things happening over here, from gas to electric to Christ, all these so-called crises and pandemics, all these things taking place hitting over here. This is also where the Revolutionary War took place. Back then, the issues of the nation versus the state. So you're going to see that resurface where a lot of the so-called state ofs are going to want to break apart and become autonomous, where they want to do things independently outside of the federal quote unquote government, because they're not really government. But they're going to want to do things independently, like how they're supposed to, the republic. But that's these issues are about to resurface. And then you're also dealing with Pluto. It deals with everything as far as estate and land and things underneath the earth. That's about to resurface. So we're about to talk about land more and the things, the precious metals and resources that's underneath the land. And you look at the placements here, you got the sun in the seventh house of Cancer. And then you also have a stellium, pretty much. You got Jupiter, Venus, and Mars there as well. But you got Pluto in the second house. Pluto is returning to Capricorn. So Capricorn deals with governments and structure. That's what Pluto is destroying right now. This current system that's over here, taking them down. And those who are in power or at the top of the mountain, they're being brought down. The mountain is beginning to activate and crumble. So now you're dealing with these changes. You're also dealing with the resources, because mountains are vast and they have a lot of resources. So you're going to be dealing with those issues returning. So they got to deal with all of this, plus on top of the people waking up and becoming aware of their true heritage and their birthrights. Plus they having a solar return. So the solar return, the sun is coming home to Cancer. Happy solar return to all my Cancers. This is Cancer season. The sun is in Cancer. It was in Cancer when they birthed themselves. And this is dealing with the seventh house, where you get international relations. You got the nature of bonds that they formed as corporate owners with other nations or states. And when they entered into these agreements, they basically gave them the worst end of the deal. Now they're going to have to restructure all of those different bonds that they created. So instead of having real bonds with the people, they actually created treasury bonds and used them as collateral against the people. So now that relationship with all of the nations is changing, because the nations are not only dumping the T bonds, the treasury bonds that they initiated, they also are initiating other forms of bonds. Okay. And this is what they're saying, the age of bondage, bond age. So that is happening for the U.S. corporate owners. So they got a lot to deal with on top of you waking up. So when we look at the connection, what is the connection between Sirius, okay, and this 4th of July? Well, let's talk about that. What is Sirius? Okay, this is the appellation. Sirius or Sigitolo or Sopdet or Sothis is the brightest star, the scorcher, and the dog star. The Indo-European root. Tui means to agitate, shake, toss, excite, sparkle, and flicker. This is what you observe when you look up at the star Sirius. All right, that's right. It's like a perfect storm, Sandy. Um, and this is what the dog days is all about. Okay, when you see this great 4th of July, they never teach you that the dog days is when the helical rising brought hot and dry summers. Okay, and the question was which one will bring the most heat, because Canis Major and Procyon, these two dogs, they will bring the fight, they will bring that agitation. All right, and remember, friction is not bad. When you create that square and you create that friction, you get things moving. This is actually how we travel. When you're in a conveyance, you call it a car, you're actually creating friction to propel yourself forward. All right. That's the science behind it. So, based on the calculations of the degrees of latitude, this is where we'll be able to observe the dogs, which one is going to bite more. All right. Now, let's see. This is an example right here of when the Sun and Sirius both are rising together. All right, and then they're rising in the constellation of Cancer. All right. Now, this is each year. This has been taking place. Each year, Sirius has been rising earlier and above the Sun. Okay, and it's rising before the Sun. Okay. Now, when we look at Sirius or Sigitolo, it's known for releasing in the past and present consciousness. Okay, and it actually, this star, as you see here, Sirius, this star actually formed this constellation Canis Major. Okay, it formed this, not the other way around. So the dog did not form this little star. This little star formed this dog constellation. Always, that's how much it wanted to expand, and that's what it actually does. So this is where you actually get the canine from. Okay, you can train it just like consciousness. You can train it, you can work at it, and you actually can use it to protect yourself. And that's the whole thing about being a cop. Okay, it actually stands for consciousness on patrol, and that's what these dogs are about. All right, that's what we all have to be for ourselves. So you got Sigitolo, and then you also have Potolo, which is Procyon. Pro means before. Kion or Sion means dog, and it actually, when you put them together, means rising before Sirius. And it formed Canis Minor. Again, Procyon, this Procyon, this little star formed this constellation, okay, to help you to protect yourself and actually arm you with intelligence. So when we look at Canis Major and Procyon, Canis Minor, Sigitolo and Potolo, both of them are facing Orion, okay? And you know about Orion's belt, you know about Orion, the great hunter in the environment, in the atmosphere, taking out everything and everybody, okay? Constellations, planets, planes. And as you can see, the great war between those in the Orion constellation took place between the Taurus constellation, which we know as the sacred cow, or Taurus, the celestial bull, who is the great defender of the Pleiadians constellation, the Seven Sisters. And you can see that Orion attacked Taurus and actually was able to not only cut Taurus, the bull, in half, okay, the fatted cow in half, but also take out Taurus' eye. Right? And one eye here highlighted, one of the brightest shining stars, planet, whatever you want to name it, in the environment is actually Aldebaran. Okay, Taurus's right eye, one of the bright, is orange. It shines bright. It's still there. All right, and still seeing, so it can be able to charge and fight. Now, yeah, you'll notice something right here in the center. You got Beltradese. Remember, I told you all to look up Beetlejuice. Hollywood told you that these bastards contracted. Okay, a lot of this took place on the 4th of July, 1776, for these people, these other entities and beings to come here and control our estate, this planet. They contracted with them. They told you in Beetlejuice. Go watch it. This is Belchagese, Beetlejuice, Belchagese. And the way that they are taking over this planet is because they have contracted with it. I say they, I'm talking about the U.S. corporate owners. This is a very malevolent force that we're dealing with. So how are we going to be able to deal with these people and get them away? Well, I'm saying, I want to say people, I would say entities or beings. How are we going to be able to save our planet? Well, this is what the ancestors had to do on these different constellations. They had to do sacred geometry and form a hexagon around Belchagese to control them and put them in a certain plane. And you got all of these star seeds and star systems surrounding Belchagese to single them out, because we know exactly who they are. And there's several other ones that's here. You're about to see way more full disclosure. I don't want to get too much off subject, but you even talking more about what just recently took place in California, where they seen craft hovering for an hour straight, and they got video footage, but they try to downplay that and tell them that that was a hot air balloon, and it was flares that they were seeing when they actually have the footage on their phone. But you're about to start to see more disclosure because they just freely navigating, and this is what the story is pretty much about, that they haven't told you and you're not aware about. So you got Canis Major and Canis Minor, both helping out in the system. Again, that's our ancestors, Sigitolo, Potolo, Series A and Series B. And this conjunction or this great connection with the sun brings the summer solstice. We're close to the summer solstice, just had it. And this, again, brings the helical rising. So what is the helical rising? The helical rising is when the sun, or Ra, okay, journeys. This is actually the journey of the soul when Ra is in his solar bark or boat, and the sun brings, Ra brings enlightenment. It brings the divine masculine positive charge. It also brings the sacred fire, which is the red flame. All right, and then when we look at Sirius, or Sopdet or Sothis, you're actually looking at the journey of intelligence. All right, human consciousness. You're looking at liberation made manifest, the divine feminine, and the sacred fire, which is the blue flame. So you still got your red and blue, even on different planes. All right, so when you combine the Sun and Sirius, you get the great conjunction, and this takes place around July 4th through the 7th, because we know everything, the earth isn't stagnant. It moves in a certain rhythm. Okay, so sometimes it might hit the 4th, the next year it might hit the 5th, the next year it might hit the 6th, or it might hit the 7th. So it just happens at 14 degrees in Cancer, this great conjunction that takes place. All right, and so when you look at the helical rising, you're literally looking at meaning the sun solstice or Sirius is seen from the sun's glare. Is you're able to see this bright light from the sun's glare. Okay, because a lot of times when planets get close to the sun, they're combust. You cannot see the great light that they bring because they are too close. The sun shines too bright, but not with Sirius. All right, when you bring these two together, you're getting consciousness. You're getting a lot of information, intelligence, and a lot of light. All right. So when you look at this connection, it actually activates the king and queen's chamber, okay, in the mind, in the brain. All right, when you look at the king and queen's chamber over at Giza, you're looking at these three pyramids, Al Nitak, Al Nilan. When you look at these three pyramids, you're looking at the father, mother, and child being activated. They don't want you to be activated, and they don't want you to know that this is actually taking place during this time. They want you out celebrating their victory or alleged victory of independence, which is a lie, and not knowing this type of information. All right, so you're looking at, again, the father, mother, and child principle with these pyramids being activated, and each each and every one of us have these three principles in us, which is the pineal gland, pituitary gland, and the hypothalamus, that is being freely given this information, the opportunity on the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, a chance to actually get this higher consciousness from Sirius and the Sun conjunction. Now, when you look at the great illumination, this is what we're talking about, truth and light combining. So when you get the truth from the sun exposes and reveals everything. And then you get that extra light from Sirius. This brings a new evolution to your being, but it also brings a rebirth that they do not want you to have. And the reason why they don't want you to have that, and this goes a little bit off topic, but it's talking about Roe versus Wade, they are in low numbers. They don't want you to overtake them in numbers. So Roe versus Wade has nothing to do with feminism or femininity or my body, my choice. It has nothing to do with none of that. It has everything to do with we can't let our next generations die. We have to continue to raise. So during this great illumination, maybe you all will see past these lies and see what's really going on. But you definitely got to tap in. It's all taking place uh, in Cancer, the constellation of Cancer. And you're looking at four keys I want you to take away from this great conjunction. All right. Number one, you need to connect with your own emotions and transform them into spiritual enlightenment. All right. So I know for some people, you like to link with other people first, but you got to start looking at yourself first, and control your emotions. Okay, if your emotions can be viewed like water, water crash, it flows. Okay, it's solid, it's liquid, it's all these different things. You got to learn how to control it first. Anytime they can control your emotions, put a program out or something out, and you get pissed or you get happy because they told you to, you're not in control. Number two, you have to make conscious change to bring new insight onto this planet. It's everybody's duty on this planet to bring new insight and change to this planet. Uh, Daughter Earth, Mother Nature requires it. Number three, it's time to evolve as a human and get initiated into the spiritual kingdom. So, Sirius is giving you the ultimate initiation during this time. Um, if you want higher knowledge or intelligence, what the elders bought, you can get access to it during this time. And I would take this time to do number four, align with the spirit instead of the material form. Um, and this is where you have a chance to unite to get liberation from duality, because the material realm deals with duality. So if you want to go beyond that realm, this is where you have to start to unite with principles from higher realms. um, and that brings liberation. So when you talk about liberation, you cannot forget to mention how Sopdet or Solstice or Sirius or Sikitolo is a very skilled woman. Okay, she signaled the approach of the indiation. She signaled the coming of the new year, the beginning of a new year. There actually is a festival in her tradition as a custom, which is called the coming of Sopdet. And it took place every 1,460 years. All right, which equals the great year. So we don't measure years by 365 days. That's a year. And then you do it again. If you're a farmer, you use that for farming and agriculture and horticulture and botany. But when you look at the actual planetary rhythm and movement, you're actually looking at the great ages. All right. And that's where you're looking at the great cosmic turn. All right. And solstice or Sopdet is actually in harmony with the solar year. So this is where the Sun and Sirius is connected, or Sopdet is connected. And they actually in harmony to form to control the not only just the truth and enlightenment of humanity, but the intelligence and consciousness expansion or restriction of it. And when you look at Sopdet and Sa, she was the consort of Sa, which means a hidden one, uh, Orion, as they call. Um, the mother of Sopdu, he was a skilled man. And this is all written in the stars. agricultural deity associated with the Nile, because the Nile brings, um, you know, life. That's why you actually had Nile Valley, the civilization. Um, the Nile was very expansive, and brought the newness of the beginning of a new year and the season. So she was the mother who nurtured the Neset Biti, or what you would call the pharaoh, and she helped him navigate through the stars. Okay, use your way or need assistance, it can be very confusing and very troublesome if you don't know your way. So she was a great guide, and when you look up in the heavens and you see her, you can be able to pinpoint a map. We could talk about that map, but she disappeared 70 days out of the year, just like the process of mummification. Okay, it took 70 days. All right, so she was in sync with the Neset Biti, which was the pharaoh, and the Neset Biti was actually an embodiment of Ra, the sun. Okay, the vicar on earth. Okay, the sun on earth. So they was in sync. She was in sync with the Neset Biti and a great protector to him. And this is where you actually get these colors from on the 4th of July, the red, white, and blue, because these colors, the Sirius flickers these colors, okay, red, white, and blue. All right, that's where you actually get it from. And so when you're actually looking at the whole fireworks aspect of the 4th of July, you're looking at a fertility ritual that's taking place, which is symbolic for bringing back the sun. That's why they wanted a lot of flames, they want a lot of fireworks. Aside from the fact that these people are just warlike to the core, everything is a war, even the national anthem, everything is a damn war, bursting with flame, all this stuff. But the fertility ritual was symbolic of bringing back the sun, which is Ra. So it was initiating a rebirth, okay, and ending of a chapter. So when you look at Cancer, Cancer again is the mother of the zodiac, or a mother of the zodiac. Deals with birthing, deals with home and nurturing. So it was all about bringing. It also deals with endings as well. So bringing a new light to the planet. So the same, it's the same thing as lighting a candle. That's what it represents, and is actually supposed to get you to ignite your own fire instead of giving it to the de facto corporate owner. So when they tell you to go out and buy 2 for 1, or all these different things to um, have fun and blow up stuff, they never tell you why. They tell you you're supposed to do these things for having fun and celebrating independence and things like that, but that's not true. It's actually talking about this great process that takes place um, for humanity. All right, so here's some solutions. This is what a mother had put out, and I definitely agree with her. The video was sent to me by a Noble, a brother, where she put out and said that do not participate, and I agree. So don't buy all this 4th of July stuff to support your own stagnation, because while you are celebrating, they planning and plotting for the next generations. Do your own research, okay? Stop blindly accepting things promoted by your oppressors, okay? Um, well, I shouldn't say the oppressors. Be still on these next couple of days. Don't try to go so fast. Really embody the crab, embody that solitude, and be able to move like a crab when you need to, sideways if need be, backwards, forwards. But really try to quiet the mind, body, and soul so that you can receive these downloads. And then again, after the big cause, or I say culmination of all of this, is to unite with other people. When you unite with those who have the same thoughts, you guys can begin to formulate your thoughts, words, and actions and align with Sirius to get things done. And that's the solution that I offer you all. Um, and here's the references. And I'll leave you with this quote. I always say, your remedy is our unity. So, and I know for you people just so lower self negative, we can't unite with everybody. We ain't gonna be able to do it. Well, I'm not talking about you. It's not for you. I'm talking about the ones who want to do the work and the ones who want to do what we're talking about. So I'm talking about uniting with those who are willing to unite with us. Now, of course, um, you're not gonna have everybody. We're not talking about everybody. We don't want everybody, because some of you all, you really need this rebirth. Okay, you really need to focus on yourself and look at yourself. All right. So we're not talking about everybody. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. Do you guys have any questions before we get out of here? Let me go to the. Let me see. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Oh, let me go to the comments. That's right, Sandy. It's a ritual that's taking place. Any question? Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for tuning in, Mother Whitney. Thanks for tuning in. Any question or no other so our class is going, we're about to start soon. We nearing the end, so that's why you've been seeing me less and less, because I'm been really getting some stuff done. And I'm so excited about some things I got for you all, about some of this hidden information that's right in front of our faces. Um so that's gonna be fun to be able to share it with you all. It's gonna be real uh fun. I mean, to just be able to break these things down, what's happening, and see right in front of your face. That's going to be right uh, available soon. Uh, you said the Sphinx. 43 Coco says the Sphinx eyes are open. Yeah, and they're actually saying that the Sphinx is older than the pyramid. You say, uh did you hear of a story about the Sphinx? Yeah, what there's several stories about the Sphinx. Um but and pretty much the Sphinx, I want to say pretty much because it's a lot of intelligence in this story, but the Sphinx represents or is symbolic of man being uh able to control everything on each plane. So things that crawl. So it has the head of a man, the legs of an animal. So you just see all of the different. He has the fish scales. Um, it has claws. All these different things. All the animals from land and sea were able to control. Um, and it's a great reminder to us of that. You said, you said the Sphinx eyes are closed. Yeah. Well, they are actually saying that from my research, they're saying that it's closed and the head was replaced, and then they also shot off the nose, and so I'm still researching that as well. Yes, Pernell L says the Sphinx in Memphis, Tennessee, found in 1912. Yep, there's Sphinx that's found in Memphis, Tennessee, also in Philadelphia, um, Mississippi, and it's another one that they had brought up. And there's several little sphinxes that they also found in Colorado in a cave. I'm trying to think of the other one though. What's the other one? Tennessee. Yeah, but they found all of these. It's Sphinx here. Okay, Sphinx is here. Pyramids here. Um, we don't just build one way. We build all over. So we build mirror societies all over. Yep. Let's see. Any other question? Well, if that's it, then you all enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like, share this video, and let's continue to build. I'm actually gonna do another live tomorrow, but Devontae says now runs through Memphis, Theros, Alexandria, Luxor, Cairo. Mississippi runs through Memphis, Tennessee, Theros, uh, Alexandria, Luxor, Cairo, Illinois. America is Egypt. Yep, definitely is. This is actually El Maroc, Turtle Island, Maxim, and what they call Egypt. He cooked her. Beautiful land, Tamari. Yes, my email is right on the screen. Noble1cosmicguy@gmail.com. Yep, no problem, Andy V. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Sandy. All right, you all enjoy the rest of your night. All right, have a great one. Peace and love. I'll see you all tomorrow.